The first time I saw her, the universe itself seemed to hesitate. We were docked at Orbital Station Aurelia, a giant wheel of metal and light turning slowly above the planet Carthos. The place was bustling, traders, mercenaries, scientists, smugglers, everyone with somewhere to go and something to hide. I was just another drifter then, a cargo pilot who took any job that paid well enough to keep my ship fueled and the life support humming. I wasn't looking for complications. And then she walked into my life. She wasn't human, not exactly. Her features were close enough that she could pass for one at a distance. Smooth skin with a faint shimmer like starlight beneath the surface, eyes that glowed faintly silver, and hair that shifted colors depending on the light. She wore a simple traveler's cloak, though no cloak could have hidden the quiet authority in her stride. I didn't know her name yet. Didn't know her story. All I knew was that when she stopped at the counter of the Starport Cantina and looked directly at me, it felt like I was the only person in the room. "Are you the pilot of the Argent Wind?" she asked, her voice low, melodic. I cleared my throat, trying to sound professional. "Depends who's asking." Her lips curved. "Someone who needs safe passage. Somewhere discreet." That was the start. Simple job. Or so I thought. Middle. Her name was Liara. She didn't give me a last name and I didn't press. Most people traveling under the radar had reasons for keeping their identities hidden. She offered a payment triple the normal rate, enough to make me ignore the risk alarms already going off in my head. The destination was unusual. A forgotten colony on the edge of the Perseid expanse, a place long abandoned after a failed terraforming project. Hardly anyone went there anymore, not unless they wanted to disappear. During the first few days of the journey, Liara kept mostly to herself. She spent hours standing at the observation deck, staring out at the endless streak of stars through hyperspace. But slowly she began to open up. One evening, over reheated ration packs, she asked, "Do you believe people can feel when they're being watched, even across the void?" Chuckled. "Sure. Call it paranoia. Keeps pilots like me alive." Her smile was faint but warm. "Where I come from, it's called bond sense. A connection between souls. Rare but real." That was the first time she hinted she wasn't just another passenger. As the days stretched into weeks, our conversations grew longer. She told me fragments of her world, a hidden enclave where her people lived apart, guarding ancient knowledge humanity had forgotten. She never revealed too much, but enough to paint her as someone extraordinary. And me. I found myself wanting to make her laugh, just to see her face light up. It happened one quiet cycle when I was repairing a stubborn console. She handed me a tool I hadn't asked for, her fingers brushing mine, and I blurted without thinking, "Thanks, sweetheart." Froze. I hadn't meant to say it. Old habit from a life of cantinas and loose talk. I expected her to frown, maybe even snap at me. But instead, Liara's cheeks shimmered with a soft pink hue, her version of a blush. She looked away, then whispered, almost too softly to hear, "Say it again." My heart skipped. And so I did. Slowly, deliberately. "Sweetheart." Her smile then was unlike anything I'd ever seen. It wasn't just affection. It was as if the word unlocked something hidden inside her. From that moment, the air between us shifted. We weren't just pilot and passenger anymore. But nothing in my life ever stayed simple. We dropped out of hyperspace near the Perseid expanse, only to find trouble waiting. A patrol frigate with no official markings tailed us, demanding we surrender our passenger. Liara's expression darkened. "They found me faster than I expected." "Who are they?" I asked, throttling evasive maneuvers. "Hunters. Sent by those who fear what I carry." "What do you carry?" She met my eyes, steady and unflinching. hope, or destruction, depending on who holds it. The ship rocked as enemy fire grazed our shields. I didn't know what she meant, not fully, but I knew one thing. I wasn't about to hand her over. The chase pushed us into the asteroid belts. I flew like my life depended on it because it did. Liara worked beside me, her hands dancing over auxiliary controls like she'd been born to them. Together, we outmaneuvered the frigate, diving into a debris field so dense most sane pilots avoided it. Somehow, we made it through. When silence finally returned, Liara slumped in her seat. "You risked everything for me." I shrugged, trying to hide the rush in my chest. "Guess I couldn't let them take my passenger." Her gaze lingered. "Or your sweetheart." Had no answer. Not one I could say aloud. The truth. When we finally reached the abandoned colony, the truth came out. The place was nothing but crumbling domes and silent towers, swallowed by dust storms. But in the heart of it, hidden beneath layers of rock, was a chamber humming with alien technology, far older than human civilization. Liara led me inside, her hands trembling as she activated the controls. A crystalline sphere rose from the center, pulsing with light. "This is why they chase me," she whispered. "This seed can terraform entire worlds, can heal dying planets, feed billions. But in the wrong hands, it can also strip a world to ash." I stared at her, realization dawning. "You're not just some traveler. No, I am the keeper, the last of my line." Her silver eyes glistened. "And now I ask you, will you stand with me or will you walk away?" My instincts screamed to run. This was bigger than anything I'd ever signed up for. But when I looked at her, when I remembered the way she blushed at a simple word, I knew my choice. "I'm with you." Her breath caught and she stepped closer. For the first time, her hand lingered in mine. "Then say it again. The word that binds me to you." I swallowed, my voice low. "Sweetheart." The seed pulsed brighter, as if it too recognized the bond. Ending. We didn't get long to enjoy the moment. The hunters weren't far behind. They descended on the colony like wolves, their weapons trained on us. But Liara was ready. With my help, she unleashed the seed's protective field, a storm of energy that shielded us and drove the attackers back. The ground shook, the old colony waking as if alive again. When the dust settled, the hunters were gone, driven off or destroyed. The seed dimmed, safe once more in Liara's hands. She turned to me, her eyes soft. "I was taught that keepers must walk alone, that no one can share our burden. But you've proven otherwise." I squeezed her hand gently. "Guess you're stuck with me now." Her laughter was quiet, but it carried warmth that filled the empty ruins. She leaned closer, her forehead touching mine. "Say it again," she whispered. And I did, with all the certainty I had left in this vast, unpredictable universe. "Sweetheart." The stars above seemed to burn brighter, as if bearing witness to the beginning of something neither of us could have ever planned. And for the first time in a long time, I wasn't just drifting. I had a reason to keep flying. A reason worth everything.